Hey guys, welcome back. So recently Grim confirmed that Halo 6 will not be getting revealed at Gamescom in August or PAX in September, which by the way, I will be at, so if you're there, hit me up. But anyways, everyone is now wondering if Halo 6 has been delayed or not. So today I thought we'd talk about whether it has been or not, and look at some pretty valid reasons as to why it might have actually been delayed, and also what this means for us as a community. So first off, it's actually quite likely that the game hasn't been delayed at all, it's just going to get a shorter marketing campaign. So Halos normally get announced around a year and a half before launch. Halo 4 got announced at E3 2011 and then released November 2012, and Halo 5 got announced May 2014 and then released October 2015. However, something a lot of companies have moved towards doing nowadays is announcing a game at, say, E3, and then having it release a few months later in fall. Bethesda did this with Fallout 4, and they gave it a short but really hyped marketing campaign. Not only is this cheaper, it also keeps the game fresh in people's minds. Now, given how hyped new Halo games are, it really wouldn't shock me if this was 343 and Microsoft's game plan. Keep the game under tight lock and key for as long as possible, and then, when it's basically finished, announce it and show it off to the world, and then announce that the game will be out a few months down the line. That way, like I said, people don't forget about the game, and they aren't left waiting for literally years to get new information or details on it after its announcement, so it stays fresh in their minds, and they're always thinking about it. This kind of makes me think the game will still release next fall as planned. It'll just be announced next E3 or maybe a little bit before and have a really short, but like I said, really hyped marketing campaign. Another thing this will help avoid that was one of Halo 5's biggest issues was the story changing mid-development. Now this led to a pretty misleading marketing campaign and a supposed plotline. Not saying Halo 5 was the first Halo to do this, but it was one of the worst offenders. I seriously hope 343 do this. Keep the game under wraps until it's almost done cooking, then release that bad boy to the world and let us sink our teeth in a few months down the line. Keep the marketing short, sweet and truthful, and you've got yourself a pretty damn spicy game that actually lives up to the marketing. However, there is one glaring problem with this. It voids Bonnie Ross's promise that every Halo game will have a beta after the MCC disaster. A beta, which is really just a demo that's called a beta to excuse for all the bugs that may or may not be patched in the day one fix, a few months before the game launches is way too soon to make it worthwhile, so I don't know, it's kind of up in the air. Let's look at the flip side now. What if Halo 6 is delayed? Well, first off, there's a few very valid reasons that it could be. Firstly, 343 have received a metric shit ton of feedback post Halo 5. Like, to a degree that I've honestly never seen before for a game, even after Halo 4. So many people are asking for Halo to return to its roots, or for new things to be added or removed, to a level that, honestly, I don't think 343 were expecting. I've always been an advocate for 343 being mostly good at listening to feedback, so maybe if Halo 6 is delayed, it's because they're really taking a step back and analysing what feedback they can truly act on, and to what degree. Some of the bigger stuff, like having the game play more like classic Halo, would require entire maps and play spaces to be redesigned and guns to be rebalanced, so this could be a pretty valid reason. There's also two solid internal reasons as to why the game may be delayed. Many of you may not know about this, but there's currently a voice actors strike going on that began in late 2016, where basically any voice actor that was part of a union, which is like 99.9% of them, aren't allowed to work. It just so happens that unfortunately Jen Taylor and Steve Downes, the voice of Chief and Cortana, are part of this strike. So they haven't been able to do any voice acting whatsoever for Halo 6 since October 2016, and I'd assume that that's like prime time for recording lines. Now, some good news on this end is that the strike is ending, but very slowly, in small drips, and There's no ETA as to when it's going to end. Halo Canon pointed this out to me the other day, and honestly, it makes so much sense. It's the reason that David Scully couldn't come back and voice Sergeant Johnson for Halo Wars 2, and it's likely throwing a spanner in the works for Halo 6 too, unfortunately. There also seems to have been a pretty major reshuffling within 343, with major people like Josh Holmes leaving and Tom French being moved to a completely different role in lead multiplayer designer, and there's probably more that we haven't heard about. Chances are this shuffling around could be slowing development a little bit, but not to the degree that this striking is. So if the game is delayed, this will definitely have some positives. It will be definitely good for fixing Halo 5's biggest shortcoming, a lack of content. If 343 can have reach tier levels of content in the game and more on day one, with all the classic stuff that we've had for years, along with even more new stuff, and even more coming after launch, the game will stand a much bigger chance of being hugely popular. And yes, this, believe it or not, does mean having Oddball on day one and not having to wait 8 fucking months for Infection. At the end of the day, content and polish are the two keys to longevity. Two things that Halo 5 seriously lacked at launch. So hopefully if Halo 6 is delayed, it's going to give 343 enough time to perfect the game and its content and really come out kicking in fall of 2019 and help Halo regain its place right at the top of the FPS food chain. However, there is a problem with it being delayed. Now, it could be seen as a sort of micro problem that I'm really exacerbating because it applies to me and people that I'm friends with quite a lot. But in this day and age, it's a real important aspect of a game's overall popularity and success: content creators. Now, if we get, like, absolutely zero new Halo games from now until 2019, it's going to be very hard for content creators like myself, who focus solely on Halo, to come up with ideas for videos and stuff like that. There's only so many times I can critique something, or talk about old Halo stuff, or talk about what I want in the next game, before the well starts to dry up. It's one of the reasons that I've already started making far less theory videos. There's just no new information to go off, and I'm not about to start getting all clickbaity with fake titles and videos that lack content just to survive. This is going to mean we'll have to start making content about other games in the meantime. Now, I already have a few very early plans that I'm sort of mulling over to branch out a little bit, notably with Destiny 2 and World War II Zombies, and I think that you're going to see a lot of Halo YouTubers do the same thing until we get some new Halo stuff. Now, by no means whatsoever does this mean that we will leave Halo. I mean, at least I'm speaking for myself. I never will do. I will always make Halo videos no matter how big I ever get with another game. Halo videos will always be on this channel, no, bar none. There will always be Halo content. Just making videos about other games that I'm interested in and that other people are also interested in is something that we can do to fill the void until we get new Halo content. So, do you think Halo 6 has been delayed? If so, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? For me, like I've said, it's sort of a mixture of both good and bad, but if it makes sure that Halo 6 doesn't launch like MCC or Halo 5, and that it really comes out the gate kicking, I'm game. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'd imagine there's quite the diverse range of opinions on this. It's quite a polarizing topic. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I've got some really dope lore videos coming out over the next week or so that y'all are going to love. It's some very relevant content. That's all I'm going to say. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Y'all are fucking awesome, and I'll catch you next time.